second video of the day. So where I'll get to now is a couple of things I want to touch on is my slingshots. I've been meaning to do that. I've got the two of them here. I've got the hybrid, the slingshot / sling bow. That was made by Sling Bows Australia, I believe it is. He's up at the Glasshouse Mountains. These are all made. He makes these himself. I had a bit of a test run, and I think this is the Simple Shot. Is it the Simple Shot Scout LT? I believe it is. Flat bands recommended by Shoot and Steel, or Sling and Shoot and Steel. Yeah, Shoot and Steel. I've only practiced once with this. I did 20 rounds out of each. Everything goes against this one here. The bands are, I've noticed when I shoot this thing here, the pouch after about 3 or 4 shots wants to turn itself around and then go that way, and if you try and turn it back, it does exactly what it just did then. It curls up and goes all silly and crazy. So yeah, it seems to last about 3 or 4 shots one direction, then it wants to shoot the other direction for 3 or 4 shots. The bands are getting like white sort of stretchy marks, and when I'm actually shooting them, when I'm actually using it, you can see them you can actually still see them now. They're getting white spots in them, and they're losing their shape and all sorts of stuff. And this is very hard to pull back. Probably the handle's not the most comfortable in the world, and generally you think that it's really shit. There's moving bits and pieces on here, and I noticed that you've got to keep tightening this up every few shots. So theoretically, everything was going against this, but this is the one that I shot the best with the other day. Now, mind you, I shot the first 20 rounds with this. I was shooting at a pizza box in Australia. It's a large pizza box, but you guys would piss yourself laughing in the States if you've seen what a large pizza is over here. It's basically like I could just demolish 2 and a bit of them. But I eat more than your average sort of person, I suppose. So yeah, I practiced on this one first, thinking that I was going to be dead-eye dick. Didn't turn out how I wanted it to, and I was actually missing the pizza box. I think my first 5 shots, basically, I missed the pizza box. This is at 10 meters, so that would be probably 11 yards. Next 10, I probably missed a few, but grouped inside the pizza box, which is probably just over a foot. It's basically a pattern, not a group. So I gave this one a rest. Then I went to this one. The first 10 shots from this, again, I had to find out where it was going, and so I wasn't really good. But out of the next 10, I probably grouped, I think it was 7 into about 8 inches. So I'm definitely getting better, and I just haven't been back to it because I've been trying to put together making a throwing board and a bullet trap for my slingshot. So that's coming along. I'll probably do a video about them and then shooting these into those. So that's that. Definitely be following up on that. Now, this is what I take. Now this is basically for Dean, but anybody else. This is what I take, mate, when I'm going looking for fat wood. I take my little gomboy. I take my katana boy, 650, and I take my little cold steel Trailhawk. Now what I actually found just on the weekend was the pouch for the katana boy, or the sheath for the katana boy, actually has another pouch in the front of it. and it's meant for spare blades, but I found that it works exceptionally well for my tomahawk handle. So now instead of trying to put this in my bag or having it sitting out of my bag, now this sits in the sheath with the katana boy. Over redundancy of lighters and knives. So yeah, I take that with me. The tomahawk does the bulk of the work. So because the pine is so resinous and it's very hard to cut, what I do when I'm felling a tree or whatever, or a dead one, I use the tomahawk first, and I chop my V into the front of it, or my wedge, and then I'll use the katana boy to cut just on top of it and from the back side, and get 3/4 of the way through, just leaning on it, and then she goes. Although I found that the katana boy, even though it's got massively big teeth on it, they're very impressive teeth, it still resins up and gums up exceptionally, and it's actually very hard to cut. Like, you'll find out how unfit you are. Like, they are, you're probably not going to be able to see those, but they're excessively big teeth on there, and I believe they're bigger. I think they're bigger at this end, and then they get smaller down here. But I'm even struggling with this thing here. So I was using WD-40. I've seen Wrangle Star, and he sprays his blades with looks like WD-40 RP7 or 556 or something similar. So I called Nita the other day from Silky, Australia. They're called, their business is Arbor Labs. They're at Capalaba, so that's only like 15 minutes away from me. And they've got a showroom. You can go in there. You can try all your. They've got a vice set up with all these different types of sticks and bits of timber in there, and you can try out all their silky saws before you buy. So I gave her a call, told her my issue, and she told me not to use WD. She told me to use silicone spray. Spray that on your blade, and that should help with gliding through that. I don't think there's going to be any such thing as gliding through that resin, but I haven't used it yet, so I'll give it a shot and we'll see how it goes. With the WD on the Katana Boy, I was probably getting maybe 4 pulls, 4 cuts, and then it would really start getting labour intensive. And believe me, you know all about it. Like, I was sharing the saw with another mate of mine, and it really takes it out of you. So that was probably on a 12-inch, 1 foot sort of tree. That's the first green tree that we've taken down, because it was in the middle of a track. And this whole place is going to be turned into an open cut quarry in the next couple of years anyway. So it's not causing the sea to rise by knocking down 1 or 2 trees. So this is my Gomboy 240 curved blade. It's got the large teeth, and when you compare these teeth to the Katana Boy, there is actually no comparison. So it'll be very interesting. Dean's just bought 2 Pocket Boys, the Pocket Boy 170s. One's the fine tooth, and the other one is a large tooth, I believe, the red handle. My Pocket Boy is the purple handle, which is the extra fine tooth. I got this because I know our hardwood is excessively hard, and this is also good for very small branches for pruning, because these are pruning saws really. But on I knew that we're cutting through. So this is for processing that exceptionally hard, dry, seasoned timber that we sort of find around the place that your axe bounces out of. That's what I got this for. Especially if I wanted to build shelters and I wanted to cut some little joints or something like that in them. That's why I got this. This works quite well in conjunction with the fatwood. In conjunction with the trail hawk. So what I tend to do in this is I'll do a cut and I'll go down until I'm feeling pretty fatigued. So I'll probably go down about 3.5 to 4 inches on an already cut tree or log, and then I'll hit in the end grain with the tomahawk, and that'll usually split it up, maybe get a little baton or something like that and give it a smack on the back of the hammer pole here, and that's how I break out chunks like this, you know. Instead of just sawing and sawing and sawing and sawing and just getting tired and fatigued, I just sort of give myself a little bit of a break, and this is the method that I've come to. So I cut here, yep, that's where we cut the tree, and then I'll put in a cut roughly about just over a foot long, or roughly a foot, and I'll come down, you know, about that thick, about that depth there, roughly 3 to 4 inches, nearly the size of a lighter, and then come in with the tomahawk from the end, bang, get it up, and then use a baton to just, and the wedge part of the eye of the tomahawk to split it out. So that's my method for getting it, and I guess that's how we'll do it, Dean, when you catch up. And but I really want to see how Dean's pocket boys go. I have a feeling, because I know he's read or he's watched videos or something and said that there's a coating or something like that in the blade so the resin, especially for fatwood, doesn't stick. Well, I think that might be an old wives' tale myself, after the experience that I've had with a large tooth gomboy and the katana boy. I think, Dean, you're going to find it a lot tougher than what you're reckoning for. What else? Just as a side note, this bag here has become awesome. I bought this as a hunting sort of day pack sort of thing. It's actually meant to be a water bladder in the back here. Water bladder goes in there, and then you have your thing over. But I don't like those bladders. And what it has, I'm not sure exactly what it's called. It's the Hydra something. The Hydra, I think it's a 30-litre pack. But it's got this little thing here for putting your rifle butt in here, and then you can put your rifle on your back, and it's got these little straps, Velcro straps that hold your rifle against your pack. Well, I'm actually doing exactly the same thing, but for the katana boy. So I like to travel quite tool heavy. Always carry some spare water with me. So this is usually, and now I've been taking my camera and my tripod and things like that. So yeah, this has worked out really well. One surprising thing with this is I went through that phase, you know, when I was getting into my bug out bags and go bags and, you know, just general hunting stuff as well. And I've got a 511, I'm not sure what got a big 511 pack. It's one of the good ones, but it's actually quite heavy. Even empty, it's quite heavy. Then I've bought a Camelback, and I've got my other little EDC bag, which is out there I take to work every day. And then I bought this one. I've got a proper Australian Army sort of pack as well. And what I found was when a mate of mine, he went and spent like ridiculous amounts of money, like $300, $400, $500 or something on a lightweight, you know, hiking sort of through hiking backpack, because it was ultra lightweight or whatever. This thing's actually lighter than it, and it costs, I think this was about $65 Australian. This thing costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars, weighs more than this, feels like it's made out of like parachute material, and I don't know how, to me it's questionable how strong it's going to be. This is actually pretty bloody heavy duty. This will stand up to a bit of punishment, and I've been using this for 2 years already. And that night, when we were weighing all our gear, I've got a couple of hammocks. I'm into my hammock camping now. So I've got hammocks and tarps and lightweight sleeping bags and things like that. And we were weighing each other's overnight sort of camping setup, lightweight camping setup. And this one here ended up being the lightest. So be careful, research, and choose wisely before you spend your money. And that's exactly why I wanted to make these things. I keep saying it, I've spent a lot of money. I'm quite tool heavy, and I just love buying shit, you know. So I've bought heaps, and if there's little tricks like this that I can sort of help you guys with, and give you some tips on how to save money or where to spend money wisely, you know, that's what it's all about. And if you guys know anything, just let me know in the comments, like, hey brother, look at this, you know. So I think that should do right now. I'll get a bit of clutter off this table, and hopefully the missus will come home with my new toys, and I might hopefully do another video.